The victorious king. In a time long past, the formidable King Ranadhir reigned over the realm of Vidarbha, his name echoing through the ages as a legendary hero. Foes who dared challenge him met only defeat, and epic songs were woven in honor of his valor. Once a coalition of kings of the neighboring regions united their forces and unleashed a relentless assault upon Vidarbha's lands. The conflict raged on, a battle of unyielding wills. The battle went on for a long time. King Ranadhir was an expert at strategy. King Ranadhir's strategic prowess proved unmatched, as he orchestrated ever-shifting formations of his army ever into new groups, and this allowed him to attack the enemies from unexpected angles. He also managed to breed distrust among the warring kings. Seeds of doubt took root among the warring kings, sowing discord within their alliance until it crumbled beneath the weight of their collective distrust. Defeated and broken, they ultimately retreated, surrendering to the dominion of King Ranadhir and acknowledging his supremacy through tributes. Thereafter they gave up all thoughts of rebuffing Ranadhir. Bereft of an heir, King Ranadhir's sole descendant was his daughter Santa, the beguiling Princess Santa, who was a young lady. All the people of the state wished that she gets a husband who was as brave as her father. The kingdom yearned for a suitor as audacious as her father, yet no prince emerged who could rival his bravery. Several princes harbored dreams of storming Vidarbha to claim the princess and marry the princess by force, yet their aspirations remained but distant fantasies. However, it was different for Vikramdev, the youthful prince of Gauripur. His father, Suryadev, had been defeated by King Ranadhir. From his childhood, Vikramdev was determined to avenge this defeat. Harboring a legacy of past humiliation inflicted by King Ranadhir upon his father, Vikramdev meticulously cultivated a mighty army, channeling his every resource into its growth. Upon the death of his father, Vikramdev ascended the throne and became king of Gauripur. He was greeted by the congratulations of neighboring sovereigns and court nobles, but no elation warmed his heart. He believed it preferable to till the soil as a humble farmer than reign as a monarch shackled by another's dominion and live in fear of another king. With resolute conviction, he vowed to cease the payment of tributes to King Ranadhir and deliver a lesson that would echo through history. His court and his ministers appreciated his sentiments. Unbeknownst to King Ranadhir, who was bedridden with illness, Vikramdev launched a surprise attack on Vidarbha. The news of the offensive attack exacerbated the king's illness, and he grew increasingly restless. Despite his pain, he tried to rise from his bed and lead his forces, but he was restrained by his physician and his loyal minister, Aditya. Even though his body was weak, the king's mind was still sharp, and he constantly strategized ways to defeat the enemy. However, each of his plans was met with failure, which only served to worsen his condition. King Ranadhir's desire was quelled only by his physician and the loyal minister Aditya. Though physically weakened, King Ranadhir's mind remained consumed by the encroaching enemy. The anxious king, however, devoted all his thought and time to devise strategies for successfully meeting the enemy. But reports of failed strategies cast a pall over his condition. He grew even more sick. The minister Aditya saw that Vikramdev's victory was certain. At the same time, the physician told him that the king's ailment had reached a precarious stage and that he was not likely to live for more than 2 or 3 days. Amidst his sickbed, King Ranadhir questioned the tumult. In this circumstance, the minister Aditya decided to keep the king in the dark about the real situation. In a hushed tone, Minister Aditya informed the king that our army is pushing away the invaders. Victory shall soon grace our banner. The king found solace in this assurance. He recovered his peace. He had a restful night. Consequently, he showed signs of improvement. The victorious shouts of Vikramdev's army echoed at the palace gates. As the Vidarbha army was on the verge of defeat, on the precipice of defeat, King Ranadhir asked his minister Aditya, "What tidings of the battle?" His voice was little more than a whisper. Aditya replied with false confidence, "My lord, we are about to win. The enemy is now on the defensive." But tears streamed down his face. Aditya's eyes were filled with regretful lies, but they were lies born of love. He wanted to spare King Ranadhir the agony of defeat, and he certainly didn't want him to die in despair. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, the victorious shouts of Vikramdev's army rang out, their clamorous din reaching even the very gate of the palace. From his sickbed, King Ranadhir questioned the tumult and causes such hullabaloo. Aditya told that our soldiers are celebrating our victory. Aditya wove a tale of triumph to conceal the truth of their impending defeat. The King Ranadhir's eyes widened with joy. Aditya bowed his head and turned to leave. But before he could take a step, the king called out to him. "Aditya," the king said, "thank you for your loyalty. You have always served me well." Aditya looked up at the king, his eyes filled with tears. "It was my honor, my lord," replied the minister. "I knew that there cannot be a defeat for us as long as I remain alive," exclaimed the delighted king. "But I must praise the courage of Vikramdev. What I had heard about him, that he is a brave young man, seems to be true," the King Ranadhir commented, and then fell asleep. And thus from the darkness, Vikramdev emerged victorious, seizing the throne that once had eluded him. He now entered the royal court. King Ranadhir's commander, minister, and courtiers, once faithful to King Ranadhir, bowed to him and begged for a truce. The terms of the truce were drafted. It was necessary for King Ranadhir's insignia to be embossed on the document. In the chamber of the ailing king, Aditya moved to retrieve the signet ring, emblazoned with the emblem of authority. King Ranadhir, awakened from his slumber, asked his faithful minister Aditya, "What are you doing?" "Your Majesty, the enemy has been vanquished. We compel them to sign their declaration of surrender. The document should bear the mark of your signet ring," replied Minister Aditya. King Ranadhir felt a surge of pride coursing through him, propelling him to rise despite his weakened form. "Bring me to the court," he declared, "for I seek an audience with the valiant Vikramdev." The minister Aditya saw dark and fumbled. He said, "Very well, my lord, let me alert the court." Though apprehensive, he acquiesced and dashed to the court to prepare the way. Prince Vikramdev had ascended the throne. The minister Aditya knelt down before him and, suppressing his tears, told him all that had passed between himself and the ailing King Ranadhir. Minister Aditya also recounted the shadowed truth, revealing the king's fragile state. Minister Aditya then said, "O victorious prince, you have proved your courage in the battlefield. I pray you to prove your moral courage by feigning defeat before our sick King Ranadhir. King Ranadhir is to die in a day or two. Do what you like thereafter." It was a queer situation for Vikramdev. A conundrum had gripped him, torn between ambition and compassion. However, he could appreciate the minister Aditya's love and devotion for the ailing king. Vikramdev decided to act as requested and left the throne and stood like one who had been defeated, and adopted the visage of one vanquished. King Ranadhir was brought into the court. He gazed at Vikramdev for a while and then said with a smile, "Young man, you are indeed a worthy warrior. In you resides a valor that mirrors mine. You could not have foiled my strategies at the beginning otherwise. Who knows, you could have won a victory had my soldiers not given a fierce fight to save my prestige. But I assure you, there is no shame in being defeated by me. To prove this to the world, I have decided to marry my daughter to you." Thunderous acclamations filled the air, but Vikramdev stood in silence, humbled by the profundity of the moment. There were thunderous shouts of joy. Vikramdev stood silent. Amidst splendor and fanfare, the union of Princess Santa and Vikramdev unfolded, a symbolic harmony birthed from a wondrous ruse. The nuptial celebration was executed with impressive magnificence. It was great splendor and grandeur. King Ranadhir weekend took to bed again. He died a year later after he had seen a grandson born. But, till the end, he did not know that Vikramdev had defeated his army. In the end, the narrative converged into a singular truth: valor transcended borders. Even in the face of feigned defeat, a king's legacy endured. Now it is up to you to judge Prince Vikramdev's character.